indicating that although Zulkarnain is so powerful, he also cannot destroy them. They are so powerful. All he can do is to build a barrier. How does Zulkarnain respond? He confirms this awesome power of Gog and Magog, because he says, okay, I don't need your money. What my Lord has given to me is more valuable. Help me with manpower. Bring me Zubarul Hadid, blocks of iron. So this barrier has to be the strongest possible barrier. Can't use recycled paper for this. Can't use mud, can't use bamboo, can't use wood. You've got to use the strongest possible metal. Iron. He builds the barrier, blocks the pass between the two mountain ranges. And then he says, blow with your bellows, so that the furnace, the flames will grow strong. And then he used that to melt the copper. And then he poured molten copper on the barrier so that it would not rust. When that barrier was built, then Zulkarnain spoke these words. هَذَا رَحْمَةٌ مِّن رَبِّي. This barrier has come as rahmah from my Lord, an act of kindness and mercy. فَإِذَا جَاءَ وَعْدُ رَبِّي. But when that time comes of which my Lord has warned, which time? Which time? When the 10 signs are to appear, when the last age comes. When that time comes of which my Lord has warned, جَعَلَهُ دَكَّاءَ. Allah is going to bring down this barrier. وَكَانَ وَعْدُ رَبِّ حَقًّا. And at that time the warning of my Lord will be fulfilled. When the barrier comes down, then he says, وَتَرَكْنَ بَعْدَهُمْ يَوْمَئِذٍ يَمُوجُ فِي بَعْضٍ. When Ya'juj and Ma'juj are released, Allah brings down the barrier. When they are released, they will be released like waves which will crash against each other and which will also crash against all the barriers that Allah had placed to separate peoples from each other. One stomach likes masakan, Surabaya. The other one likes masakan, Padang, Banami. Padang Johor. Some like Chinese food, some like Malay food, some like European food. But when Allah releases Ya'juj and Ma'juj, all these barriers are going to be swept away. And all of mankind will eat one food. Guess which one? McDonald's hamburgers. We dress differently. We dress differently. But when Ya'juj and Ma'juj are released, all the barriers are going to be swept away, and we all dress the same way. We speak different languages. But when Ya'juj and Ma'juj are released, all the barriers will be swept away, and all of mankind, at least the elite, speak one language. And so when Ya'juj and Ma'juj are released, then the world is going to witness the whole world coming together as one global society. What you in Singapore call globalization. But that one global society, as it emerges, will cause fear in the hearts of those who follow Muhammad ﷺ, because he has said to them, he has said to his followers, that 999 out of every 1,000 on the earth are going to become a part of that global society, globalization, and they're all going into the hellfire, their excellencies and all. The only one who will survive and who will enter into the heaven will be the one who will resist becoming a part of the global society of Gog and Magog. he will be able to successfully resist because he follows Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam. Great is the wisdom of Allah, that the world should end with such awesome drama. Great is the wisdom of Allah, that the world should end with such justice. Only those who follow the truth can survive the storm of Gog and Magog. When that barrier comes down and Gog and Magog are released, then we are told in Sahih Muslim, this is a Hadith al-Qudsi, or the direct speech of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I have created, please get me a copy of Jerusalem in the Quran. I have created creatures of mine. I have created creatures of mine so powerful that none but I can destroy them. And so when Gog and Magog are released, they will become the equivalent of Zulkarnain. They will control the world with irresistible power. And when they take control of the world, then they become the rulers of the world. But power, thank you, power will rest now on foundations which are corrupt. Because you remember they said, surely Gog and Magog are causing fasad, corruptions in our land. And so when they are released, power in the world will now rest on foundations of fasad. And so this power will be used to corrupt everything. Secondly, as they embrace all of mankind in the one global society, that one global society is heading for the hellfire. And so when they are released, power will now rest on foundations which are essentially godless, godless, godless. And so this is exactly the opposite of Zulkarnain. This is what the world could have been if the world had accepted Muhammad alayhi salatu. This is what the world is now going to be because it did not accept Muhammad alayhi salatu. What is the world going to be like when the barrier comes down? Power now rests on foundations which are essentially godless. So when that power is used to relate to people, instead of power being used to punish the oppressor, power will now be used to oppress. Are you understanding the world today now? Before this lecture, it was a strange world out there. Strange world out there. Can't understand it. But after Surah Al-Kahf, now I am understanding the world. Those who control the world, those who have power in their hands, now use power to oppress. And so those who are weak, injustice has been done to them, they are the ones who are now punished. And the oppressor is left scot-free. Secondly, there will now be disharmony between power here and power there. And so who wants to live in a world like this, which is so different from that world? And so the heart of the believer will long to get out of this dunya. When power rests on foundations which are essentially godless, that power will now also be used to punish those who have faith. The war on terrorism. Notice it's only Muslims who are being targeted. Did you notice that? Only Muslims, yeah. Tomorrow the same thing. Only Muslims, only Muslims, only Muslims. Power will now be used to target and to punish those who have faith. The more faith you have, the more they'll target you. And power will now be used to punish those who are righteous in their conduct. If you're wicked, you get away. But if you want to be righteous in your conduct, they will go after you like hungry dogs.